Hey, welcome back, comic fans. Mr. Q Comics back with some more show and tell. All right, today we're going to have a mixed bag of stuff. This is going to be a bunch of highlights of stuff I've picked up over the last kind of quarter of 2023. I got super far behind doing these haul videos and showing off the things I've been buying, and there's just too much to try and get caught up. So I am cherry picking out kind of my favorite books from all of these pickups I've had while traveling for work and hitting up my local shops. Most of the stuff's going to be things I'm keeping for my PC, a handful of things I am going to be sending out to get graded and flipped later on. Again, been picking up like I usually do, always buying stuff that I'm looking to flip and make a profit on so that I can, make the hobby pay for itself. I'm trying not to spend money out of my actual paycheck. So with that, we are going to dive in. Again, it's not one mega haul of amazing books. It's a bunch of just cool books I picked up along the way, really dating back to like late summer. So we will dive in with some books I picked up from a local collector. I've shown off stuff I've got from this guy before. He'll sell off chunks of his collection periodically to me. First thing I grabbed, it was like 300 bucks, but I'm just going to show off a couple here. We've got Western Gunfighters, number 14. I kept this one out of the collection because it's a Steranko cover. I did a little research when he came back to Marvel in the 70s. There's like a handful of covers he did. I want to say like 12 to 14, something like that. I think he was just doing covers for some kind of newer titles. Like obviously you can see a Western title here you wouldn't expect Steranko on, but again, it's Steranko art, one of my favorite cover artists of all time. So I was happy to find that one. Also found one at an antique store. I paid up a little bit for this. I probably paid more than I should have, but it's in really good shape. Tex Dawson, Gunslinger #1, also a Steranko cover. I thought it was very cool. This is just from my local antique shop. Really nice art there. And then back to the collection I got from that local collector. It was mostly modern stuff, like a lot of DC New 52 stuff, some cool variants, things like that. Handful of Bronze and Silver Age, but this is by far and away the best book that I plan to send off to get graded. We've got Tales to Astonish, number 59. This is the first time Hulk is in Tales to Astonish. It's a Jack Kirby cover from 1964. This one's in really solid shape. I think it's in the VF range, so I held this one out to get slabbed. I think it's probably got a shot at an 8.0, which would be a nice grade for this. So really happy with that one. Beautiful artwork. I love the giant man on these covers. So very cool book there. All right, next we will head out to Memphis. I was in Memphis, Tennessee for work. Picked up a handful of books. I've got, I think, 3 I picked out to show off. I was driving kind of around when I had the downtime. I found a shop. I think it's 901 Comics, and I believe they have 2 locations. I can't remember which one I got these books from. But first thing I grabbed, it is beat up, but it's a book I've been wanting for a while. It is Daredevil 158. This, of course, is the Frank Miller run beginning on Daredevil. Again, super beat up, but this is an expensive book. Every time I come across it, it's way more than I want to pay. I'm always looking for bargains and trying to make deals. So this was affordable. It was only 20 bucks. Again, super low grade. You can see it's really beat up, but it's complete. Put it at the VG range, so I was happy to grab that to add to the PC for now. Eventually, I will upgrade it at some point when I find a better copy that is affordable. But for now, very happy to have that. And then I think it was the same branch. I grabbed this copy of Batman 136. Very cool. Sheldon Moldoff cover from 1960, I think. So I had a copy of this. Really low grade. This is also low grade, but this came from it's the personal copy of E. Nelson Bridwell, who was a writer on Mad Magazine and DC. Came with the COA. I assume that's accurate. I don't know. But regardless, it was in better shape than the one I have. I got some glare here, so you can't see the COA. But I thought that was kind of neat. I think I picked this up with another Batman Silver Age book, that Daredevil book, and probably 1 or 2 other smaller books. But very cool pickup there. That one will replace my PC copy. All right, then I hit up another shop. This one, they had quite a bit in back issues. The guy was nice. Let me look at a ton of stuff. He had all the Silver Age kind of tucked behind the counter. So I was digging through a lot of it. I picked out a good chunk of books, but usually shops are really flexible when you're buying a bunch of stuff, and that's usually my goal when I'm walking into new shops. I'm looking to spend a good chunk of money and try and negotiate some better pricing. I don't try and haggle on rates if I'm buying $20 worth of books. But if I'm going to spend $400 or $500, that's what I'm trying to kind of bundle stuff up. But this shop wasn't really into doing that. He said he'd be more negotiable if I was buying like $100 in $5 books, which was not going to happen. I was obviously looking at like key books, so I ended up putting up, you know, probably like $400 worth of books back, and just going with this. I had never come across this, but very cool. 4-color number 386. So this is, I guess it's basically considered Uncle Scrooge #1. So I don't know if it's the first solo Scrooge story. I guess it is. This is, of course, from Dell Comics, 1952. It's Carl Barks story cover and art. And again, not his first appearance. First appearance is in 4-color number 178. But still, very cool Disney and Uncle Scrooge key comic area. Low grade, probably good, very good range. But I think it was like $200, which is probably right around FMV. I think I got this in September, October. I can't remember. I was out in Memphis, so don't know what this goes for now, but didn't find a ton of comps when looking this up. But still, I don't usually buy Dell stuff, but if it's older Disney, if it's a key book of a big Disney character, definitely worth picking up. So happy to find that. Still undecided if I will keep that or eventually sell it, but we will see. All right, back to the hometown in the Northeast. I hit up a local show in Maine. This is a small collectible show. This one's a bit bittersweet. So I always go, there's a couple of people that sell comics. One dealer that I buy from all the time. I mean, every other Paul video I show off is books from that dealer. But these books I'm going to show off I picked up from a different dealer. We've got, this is just a cool Adam Hughes cover I didn't have. I got for $1. Vengeance of Vampirilla, number 10 from Harris Comics. I just grabbed it to complete my Adam Hughes runs. I love the early Adam Hughes art of the Vampirella covers. And this vendor, a lot of his stuff was overpriced. He didn't have a ton, but he had a couple copies of ASM, and these were in nice shape, probably high VF range, I think. I'll see if I get these graded or not. I have these, but we've got ASM 97, these great Ramita covers. These are, of course, the drug issues without the comics, the Comic Code Authority stamp. We've got 97, which is probably the most sought after. And we've got 98 as well. So I paid up a little bit for these, but I just grabbed them because the grade was really good on them. So really happy with those. And then finally, this one I was looking up, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. It is a Golden Age cartoon book, Haha Comics, number 5. I got this cheap from a vendor. This was, you know, like $30, and it's mid-grade. It's in the fine range. This is a Larry Riley cover. It's American Comics Group from 1944. I could not find copies of this sold on eBay. Couldn't find graded copies on GPA. So I am not quite sure. I think I probably will take a shot at getting it graded and see how it goes. I have no idea what this is worth. Again, most of the Haha comics I was finding were way later on, closer to the 50s. So I didn't find any issues this low. So I am not typically into the cartoon stuff unless it's like an LV Cole cover or really cool art. But still, very cool pickup there. So the bittersweet part about this is again a local show. It's about an hour from me in a town called Auburn. And I left the show. I was probably there for 3-4 hours, and then I see one of my buddies post on his Instagram page, and he's got a picture of him with David Harbour, of course, from Stranger Things and The Red Guardian and Black Widow, who happened to be in town because he did theater in Monmouth, Maine in the 90s, and he was back doing some event, and I, of course, had no idea, but I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I just left. An hour later, he's posting pictures. He happened to show up to get a coffee at the mall, wandering around the collectible show. People are getting all these pictures with him, so I swear I missed him by like probably half hour to an hour, something like that. So I couldn't believe that, you know, just left, and David Harbour comes walking into the show in Maine randomly, this tiny mall that's like empty all the time, and he pops in there. So what are you gonna do? I thought it was pretty funny. Anyways, all right, next, this is just a beautiful Silver Age Marvel I picked up at the local antique shop. Again, one of these older vendors I buy from. You got to check frequently. Most of the stuff is way overpriced, but every so often there's a gem. This is Strange Tales 118. A beautiful copy. It wasn't super cheap. It's probably like $50, but I think this is in the VF range. It's the first partial cover appearance of Doctor Strange and the first Orb of Agamotto. So I looked up comps, at least when I was checking it. It's about a $300 book in 8.0. So I thought that was a great buy. Again, most of the time this guy's stuff's way overpriced, but this was one of the occasions I found something good in there. All right, now we will head to, I think I picked the next stack up, all in Western New York. So this was, I think this was all from Wonderland Comics. I'm going to show off 2 books. First one, again, iconic DC book I've been wanting. This is Superman number 199. First Flash and Superman race, Carmen Infantino on the cover, 1967. So I grab it and I'm like, wow, this is cheap. It was only like $30. And then I'm like, this looks weird. And then it takes me a little while and I realize, oh, Superman's got like a beard here. So it took me a few minutes to figure out someone had really nicely colored in this beard on Superman that looks actually pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. And they did a good job where it actually almost looks like the original artwork. It's hysterical. But it took me a few minutes because it looks so good to realize that someone had colored a really nice beard in on Superman, which I thought was absolutely hysterical. And for $30, I was more than happy to grab that technically, I guess, restored copy. But whatever. I thought it was a riot. I kind of like him with a beard. So that was a great pickup. I have never owned that book, and that's one of those DC books I've been wanting. I got a few other books, I think, that I was flipping, and then he had this Golden Age Superman on the wall that I thought was priced pretty fairly. This is Superman 29. Presents really nice, but it's got some chew marks over here, a little rust on the staples, but really cool World War II cover here. This is Wayne Bourne cover from 1944. So it's pricey, as all Golden Age stuff was, but I think it was a pretty good deal. So really happy to add that into the Golden Age collection. All right, next I hit up, as I always do in New York, I was able to hit up Greenbush Outer Print Comics. I grabbed a ton, as I usually do when I'm there, but I'll highlight a few. We've got Dazzler, number 33. I was going to buy this Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Of course, the Michael Jackson Thriller homage. I absolutely love this cover, so I grab it every time. I found a couple of times, I found like the Canadian newsstand version of this, which is really expensive, but anytime it's an 80s homage pop culture cover, I am grabbing it, and I absolutely love this one. Next, we got another very cool Dell book I was able to stumble across. I think this was the same trip, too. So this is 4-color. I think it's 4-color. Is it? I lost my place. Yes, 4-color, 113. So this is the first original stories of Popeye in comics. So everything up to this point was just reprinted news strips, as I understand it, or collected news strips in comic format. So this is the first original stories. This is Dell from 1946. Looks really nice, but I think the cover is detached at the bottom staple, so I got a good price on it. Again, not his first appearance. First appearance is King Comics #1, which is a really expensive book, but this is a nice Popeye key book if you're into Popeye. So very cool find there. Next, we got a couple of amazing Spider-Man books. I probably got it, probably FMV. This is really low grade, but I love my Spidey. Early Spidey here, ASM number 16. I have it. I've got a low grade graded copy. This one looks decent, but it's got some really big tears on the edges. So, of course, this is the first meeting of Daredevil and Spider-Man Ditko on the cover, and this is from like 1964, 1965. This one's from 64. And I also grabbed it with a copy of 21, which is the second appearance of Beetle. This one's in better shape. Happy to find this. I have been hunting for this book for so long. I have a copy I bought years ago, and when I got it on eBay, and there was a page missing, and the guy gave me a refund, and that was great, but it's just irked me that I've had this in my collection, missing a full page, driving me nuts. Found one last year at a shop, counting the pages, missing a page, and I don't usually want to buy this stuff on eBay, so really happy to find this one. Again, I paid up. I probably paid too much on this, but I was excited to find a nice, complete copy that presents well. So again, this is probably in the VG fine range. So super happy to find that. Next, always got to grab this when you find it. This is a decent price. Again, I probably paid fair market value on these books, at least at the time. This is, of course, an iconic Neil Adams cover. We've got Batman 251, that awesome Joker cover from Neil Adams from 1973. So Decent price on this, but again, I was probably paying around FMV on these books. So, but really happy to grab that. I have another copy right now that's also probably low grade. One day I'll probably pay up and get a nice high grade copy. But for now, that will do. And this is the book of the haul for me here. We have got Superman 38. This is obviously an incomplete copy. This is really, really weird tear here. I mean, you can see it. The cover's attached, but someone ripped it off in this really odd way. I don't know. It's otherwise page quality is decent. Just makes me wonder how it got torn off like that. But really too bad. I have been wanting this book for a while just because I think the cover's hysterical. Barbara trying to cut Superman's hair with these big shears here, and of course they're breaking in half. But this one is significant because it's got an atomic bomb panel or atomic bomb story that was meant to be printed in issue number 34, but it got delayed due to some government intervention because of the heightened security during World War II. So they didn't want to be showing off any info on atomic bomb testing, as I understand it. So I thought that is just super cool, the connection to kind of such a major historical event in comic books. So of course that's what drives the a lot of the value on some of these Golden Age books, these, especially the World War II stuff, of course. So really cool. Got a great price on it, obviously incomplete. I will probably end up selling this one. I do want this book, but I've got to have one with the full cover because you don't get the full artwork. You do get the guy breaking the shears, but really cool find there. All right, getting down towards the end here. Last 8-10 books, something like that. Next, we're going to go with 2 books I grabbed on eBay. I am a huge Dave Stevens fan. If you guys have watched any of my hauls, and I got on a Dave Stevens kick. I think I watched that documentary on Dave Stevens. It's on Amazon, I think. So I have never come across this. I've been waiting to find this for the dollar bin, in the dollar bins. It has not happened. So I bit the bullet and found a copy on eBay at a pretty good price. We've got Elvira's House of Mystery #1. DC 1987. This is a decent copy, probably VF near mint range, and I think I got this for 41 bucks shipped. So I usually avoid the auctions, and when I do buy on eBay, I'm really selective. I'm trying to buy from people that are selling comics, but definitely not huge sellers. I like to find people that have comics but aren't comic sellers, right? That's where I find the best deals. So I thought that was a great price. More than happy to pay that. 41 bucks for this is I think a solid price. Dave Stevens' popularity in the past few years has really gone up as I see it. I think the value on all these books has gone up. A lot more people are tuned into just the amazing artwork. So before, I got most of my Dave Stevens collection out of the dollar bins, but it has been tougher and tougher to find these affordably. So really happy to finally have that. And next, I don't remember. I must have been looking for some LB Cole art because I got this. I think I just thought it was I liked the cover. I had never seen it before, and I thought the price was good. Great Comics #1. Really decent copy. It's got some waviness, but presents beautifully. I think I paid 240 bucks on this, so I don't really know the value, but I think it's probably in the VG fine range. It's LB Cole, Novak Publishing from 1945. Again, this was a seller who had like a couple of Golden Age books, and not a huge seller. He had a lot of other, mostly modern or Copper Age type of stuff. So I think I made an offer. I can't remember if it was an auction or not, but really happy to add that to the LB Cole collection. Next, we have got 2 books. I bought a bunch of books off a guy on Instagram, a Golden Age collector. So I'll just highlight 2 of them here. Again, we're back to LB Cole. This is Spook number, I think it's 25. I can't even find it on the cover. Spook number, 25. Really, really cool cover. So this is the skulls in the background are basically the cover of Blue Bolt number, drawing a blank, number 115, which I was able to pick up over the springtime as well. But this is just a really solid copy. I love LB Cole art. Obviously, any Golden Age collector does. So happy to add this one. And then this was not something I was even hunting for, but he was showing me, a bunch of stuff he had. And this looked to be in really nice shape. So I thought the artwork was gorgeous. This is Dagger Desert Hawk number 14, which is actually the first, I think it's the first solo story for Dagger, I think. So really cool, good girl art here. You get some bondage, which is always popular for the golden age. So really good shape, probably in the mid-grade range, probably VG fine range. So he gave me a great deal on a bundle of books. So I thought that was super cool. Love the artwork. Love the reds here. So really happy to grab that one. And all right, last 4 books. We will go with one more eBay book. This book is always expensive. A lot of people consider it rare, but I find I see a ton of copies for sale right now on eBay. So I don't think it's, it maybe is, uncommon, but I don't think it's super rare, but it is an expensive book. We got Night Nurse #1. This is the first Linda Carter. I can't remember. It's got like a piece missing or something, a tear on the back. It's a pretty solid copy. I got this for $110 shipped. So I can't remember what he listed at, but it was far below everything else I saw. It's a nice, solid mid-grade copy. So I thought that was a great price for this book. It is, again, it's pricey. I was looking this morning before I did the video. The prices I see for this book are really, really high. So very happy to grab this for that price. All right, last 3 books. This was fairly recent. Within the past couple months, I hit up an antique shop in New Hampshire that I actually saw Mike at Lunch Money Comics talking about, and he had picked up some great books there. And there was one book in the video that I was hoping to go grab, but it was already gone when I got there. But I still got some great books. I got a copy of, I think I got like 7 or 8 books there, but these are the 3 I'll show off. I've got Detective Comics #400. It's a book, again, I've been wanting for a while. Any Neil Adams DC stuff I love to grab. So this is the first appearance of Man-Bat. Again, Neil Adams cover from 1970. This is in the VG range, but the price was great when I bundled it up. So really happy to grab that. We've got Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, #134. First appearance, cameo anyways, of Darkseid. So very happy to find this. This was one of the books I had at that shop in Memphis that I put back, and his was way more expensive and lower grade. So this book was pricey a couple of years back, and it has definitely gone way down in price. So this is probably a decent VG fine copy, so really happy to grab that. Again, Neil Adams on the cover from 1970, so 2 DC keys that I've never had. Real happy to grab those. And the big one, again, a book I've been looking for a while, but prices had gone through the roof and just coming back down to earth like most things are. This is super low grade. This is probably a 2.0, I would guess. Water damage, fraying around the edges, but it is complete. We've got Fantastic Four, #52, of course. First appearance of the Black Panther. Again, super beat copy, but it worked out to like $200, which I thought was a good price. It's complete. Even in this market, I was looking them up today, still priced where people are trying to get way more than that as it is. So I thought that was a great deal. So really happy to add those books, all of these books, most of them going in the PC. So really happy to be able to pick these up at some pretty good prices. So that is it for part 1, guys. I got another stack of stuff I picked up, mostly antique shops, Instagram stuff, a couple of eBay pickups, some more Golden Age and more Dave Stevens, of course. So I will be doing that in part 2. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me some comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.